Now we learn the second experiment, which is the same to determine empirical formula, but it used to determine those metal that is more reactive because all these metal, hydrogen gas won't able to take away oxygen from them. So instead of taking use hydrogen gas to reduce them, so what we do is we will straight away burn this chemical with oxygen. Okay, so example, magnesium is very reactive, so we should heat it so that it react with the oxygen to become magnesium oxide. But this reaction, right, this experiment is very simple because the equation is very simple. But this one you have to close it with the cover. Lid means it's the cover because the magnesium oxide, right, it will fly out. But if magnesium fly out, what is it? It will affect the mass because I want to find the mass with magnesium, the mass with magnesium oxide. So you take the difference, you're able to find the magnesium and oxygen mass, then you divide by molar mass, then you get the ratio, mole ratio. So if some white film of magnesium oxide fly out, right, then escape out, you affect the final mass. But you have to open up a bit to allow oxygen to enter to react with the magnesium. Then same thing by the previous experiment, you had to repeat these three processes: heating, cooling, weighing process is to repeat until the constant mass is obtained to make sure all the magnesium turn into magnesium oxide. Then you must clean with sandpaper to make sure, because normally all the metal on the surface will have oxide layer. So to remove it to get the mass of magnesium, means pure magnesium is still got magnesium oxide. So you look at this experiment. What is meant by empirical formula? Standard form question. Give the simplest whole number ratio of atom of each element present in the compound. So the mass of magnesium, you check here. This one, you take the magnesium minus the without magnesium to get the magnesium mass. Then we take the with oxygen and without oxygen to get the oxygen mass. Then mass divided by molar mass. So you get the ratio is 1 to 1. So empirical formula will be Mg plus O2 become MgO2. MgO, because the final formula I found is MgO. So why need to open up a bit to make sure to allow oxygen to enter to react with magnesium? When do you stop? After you repeat the three process, heating, cooling, weighing process is repeated until a constant mass is get, then you can stop the experiment because everything react completely already. White film escape, then the final mass will be affected. Then we will calculate wrong empirical formula. So when magnesium start to burn, one need to close it to avoid the white film of magnesium oxide. You escape. When you escape, the mass will be affected. Statewide copper 2 oxide cannot be using this method. The method that below hydrogen, right? Normally we use just the experiment 3.3a because if you direct heat copper with oxygen, the reaction is very slow. Then what is the purpose of rubbing the sandpaper, magnesium ribbon with sandpaper is to make sure to remove all the oxide layer. So another chemical you can use this technique is any above like zinc, what else? Aluminium can use this method. The white film is magnesium oxide. Why repeat is to make sure all the magnesium completely burn. So you can try this similar experiment. What is empirical formula? Then reason why cannot be left open to avoid white film escape. How to make sure all is completely red? Repeat the three processes: heating, cooling, weighing processes. Repeat until constant mass is obtained. List down the precursor step. Must open at interval to allow oxygen to enter. Then cover it back to make sure it won't escape. Then you try to find the mass. Okay, this one with magnesium, without magnesium, you minus off. Then this one, after heating means it becomes magnesium oxide. So you take this with oxygen, this one without oxygen, you can minus off. Then you can get the mole ratio is 1 to 1. This method not suitable because copper is less reactive, so the reaction is very slow, so not suitable. Then it's the same experiment. You can try. Remove the oxide layer. Then you minus off. So you can see the mass here. The magnesium ribbon. So minus the original, you get the magnesium mass. Then the with oxygen and without oxygen, you minus off, you get the oxygen mass. Then you divide by molar mass, you get the ratio is 1 to 1. So the chemical equation will be magnesium burned with oxygen, you'll get 1 to 1 ratio MgO. Then you balance the equation O2, O2, 2H, 2Mg, 2Mg. W is less reactive than hydrogen, so it's below hydrogen. So you need to use this one to what we call to get the answer. So what is the step that should be taken to remove all the air? Allow the hydrogen gas to flow through a few minutes to make sure all the air is removed. This one, the mechanism they change to M oxide, so it does not affect the result actually. So first thing, why heating, cooling, weighing to make sure it's complete. Why must open during the combustion to allow oxygen to enter? Why must close it back to avoid the powder fly out? What is the number of moles? So we check here. This is the the M minus the empty one to get the mass. Then with oxygen and without oxygen, you can minus off to get the number of mole. So you can see the ratio is 1 to 1. So is M plus O2 become MO. So chemical property. Okay, this one is a bit. This is actually Form 4 chapter 4. Okay, which is a basic property. So you react with acid because basic is alkaline. You can react acid to form salt and water.